What is going on, gorgeous people? This is David Lyon, founder of Evolving Men and Body Creators. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the greatest source of stagnation for high achievers. Now, it's important that you check for yourself whether you fall into this category or not, to see whether what I'm going to share actually applies to you or not. So for me, a high achiever is someone who tends to be a perfectionist, who has very high standards of himself, who has big visions, who has already tapped to some degree into their potential, and who already has turned some of their ideas or visions or creativity, who has made that reality. So if that's you, then listen up, because I think this video is going to resonate a lot. Now, if you don't fall into this category, feel free to watch this video, but be aware that it might not be what you need where you are at in your particular situation, and that's perfectly fine. So the greatest source that I know for myself, and I definitely identify as being a high achiever in all modesty, the greatest source of stagnation, or that's held me back for a very long time, and it still happens from time to time, is doing things that sound logically reasonable, or that you read somewhere that this is the best thing you can do for your business, for your personal development, for your relationships, for your health, doing things because you heard somewhere that this is what you're supposed to do, because that's the most evidence-based thing that's meant to give you the results that you are looking for. Whatever the results are, having better relationships, having better sex, having the best morning routine, growing your business, I don't care. This pattern occurs in every part of our lives. Now, that is one way of doing it. And the other way, which I would like to guide you towards, is doing things where you actually have a felt sense that this feels supportive and nourishing for you. Now, in a moment, I'm going to go into what that actually means, because it doesn't mean that it feels good all the time. However, when we do things because they're logically, rationally the best thing, we might be doing things that do not fit into our very unique situation. And so this is so important to understand on your journey, that the more you grow, the more complex you become, and the more unique your path becomes. That means that the further you go, the more you have to become your own authority in sensing, understanding what are the things, the practices, the food, the habits, the people, what are the things that work for you in your unique situation. Not what is the best thing you could do from a theoretical perspective, or what works for most people, or what worked for someone who inspires you, but what actually works for you. And so the pattern that I see within myself and with so many people that I work with and that I talk to is that we have this idea of like, this is what I have to do in order to get the result that I'm looking for. And then it doesn't work. I don't get the results. And instead of saying, probably this wasn't the right thing for me because it didn't work for me, I didn't get the results. Instead of doing that, we go into, probably I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm bad and wrong because it works for everyone else, but not for me. So we start blaming ourselves. We start criticizing ourselves instead of questioning, well, is this thing that I tried out, the habit, the business strategy, the communication strategy with my partner, does that actually fit my unique situation? Okay? When you learn to shift from doing what's supposed to be right to what works for you, you're gonna accelerate your path in a way that you could not imagine. Now, the thing is, it usually takes some experience of, I'll call it humiliation, but it sounds worse than it is, of just realizing where you truly are. Because without knowing where you are, you're not going to know what will work for you and what doesn't. So it requires this, oh, okay, I'm at this place right now, and this is my unique next step. And no book, and no teacher, and no theory, and no philosophy will ever be able to tell you what will work for you right now. And even if you work with a skilled facilitator or therapist or coach, whatever they suggest to you, your experience always has to be the measurement of whether something works or not. Now, let's go into, how do I know based on my experience whether something works or not? Because clearly, when you try on something new, when you try a new habit, when you try a new practice, when you try a new business strategy, it's not like you do it and boom, you have magically all the results that you were looking for and everything is going great. So, as I said in the beginning, this video is for people who have already achieved certain things in their lives. So you will know that you need to give whatever you try out as a new practice, you need to give it some time to be able to tell, okay, does this work for me or not? Do I need to maybe adapt something here or there to make it work for me or not? So give it 30 days, give it 60 days. Do some reviewing in between. So maybe after a month, say, okay, so I tried this thing out. I tried out communicating differently with my partner. These are the results. Now I can maybe change this or that. Maybe try it another month. And then after that, if you notice, I tried out and it just doesn't feel right. Like it makes me more tense. I feel more uncomfortable. I feel less myself. I feel less authentic. I don't feel like a yes inside of me. If after a particular time, and even here, you need to figure out what the time is for you. It might be 30 days, it might be half a year. Sometimes you need to stick to something for a long time to see whether it works or not. Again, you will be able to tell that over time. But what you are looking for is this felt sense in your body. So it's not an idea, it's a felt sense of like, yeah, this feels true to me. It feels like, yeah, I can express myself through this practice. I can express myself through this business strategy. Because look, even if something gives you good results, but it doesn't feel true to you, it doesn't feel like, I get to express myself through my business. I get to be truly authentic and empowered in my relationships. I get to live the day-to-day life that I really feel called to live. Like even if you get certain results from an external view, from the things that you do, if they in the long run don't nourish you, don't energize you, don't feed you on a deeper level, then drop them. Then it might just be that it's also not like the practice is wrong or the strategy is wrong, but it just doesn't apply to exactly where you are in this present moment. And so the more that you manage to listen to your, we can call it intuition, to your inner voice, to the impulses that are coming from your body, the more that you listen to that, the more that you sit with the stuff that comes up and start understanding the feedback that lies in all your body sensations. Your body's constantly communicating to you. It's constantly giving you signals. But the thing is, we don't listen. We put ideas on top of how things are supposed to be, and then we blame ourselves that we don't fit into our ideas of how we're supposed to be. And so don't misunderstand me. This is no small undertaking. This is like a small cultural revolution that you're doing there by starting to listen more to your inner authority rather than some ideas that you kind of put on top of yourself. But again, the more that you are able to listen to how you respond, to how certain things make you feel in the long run, this will incredibly accelerate your path, even though sometimes it may look like, whoa, I have to slow down. Maybe I'm actually doing too much right now. Maybe I'm creating so much noise that I don't even clearly see what works and what doesn't work. I'm trying out 3 different new practices and I have a sense of like, yeah, it's working a little bit, but not fully. Well, then you cannot really evaluate what is working and what isn't. So you slow down. Maybe you just do one practice. and you get a clear sense of like, is that a yes or a no? And so again, it might look like this slows down your path because you might be doing less things. But the blocks that you're building with that in your life, they are so much more solid because your experience actually tells you, yes, this is working for me. This feels good for me. And when something feels good for you, you're going to be able to do it again and again. It won't be hard. For example, I practice silent meditation every single day. Not because I tell myself I have to, because I've seen the results over and over and over and over again, so it's a no-brainer. It's like, I know I feel better after meditating. I know I feel more clear and grounded. So I'm just going to do it. Was it always like this? No. In the very beginning, I hated it, and I tried out meditation techniques that did not work for me at all, where I felt more pressured and tense afterwards. But again, over time, I realized, oh, this is the kind of practice that I need to do to feel good. And so that's what I want to share with you in this video is trust your own feedback mechanisms. Trust what your body is telling you rather than following ideas blindly, because that's the most effective, proven way to do anything in your life. All right? If you resonate with this message, let me know. Give this video a like, give it a comment, share it with people who might resonate with this. And as always, you're seen, you're loved, you're appreciated. Keep evolving, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.